Alright, so in this tutorial, we're gonna add colors to the text animation, the typography animation, or kinetic typography. This is the example, right? This one right here. This one is again the file where I last left off, right? So I'm gonna play the example file. I also added 2 sound effects, and I'm going to show how to do that right here. I'm going to show how to import it and how to show the wave, the visual representation, so you can kind of time it. Okay, and it's super easy. That's the reason why I put it in, and it adds extra to it, extra little visual kick when you add sound. Anyway, I'm going to play it, my example, with the sound. Press the space bar again. So that's what it is. Alright, so I'm going to go to my practice file. Okay. So here's the practice file, and to add color, let's say for example slide in, right? Here it is. What you want to do is your effects and presets. So this is where you have, like I mentioned in the very first videos, are all the types of effects and all the types of presets. You can think of it like, let's say Batman. You know, Batman's nifty little utility belt with all his little gadgets. This is basically your utility belt of gadgets. So I'm gonna just type in gradient. Right, gradient in here. You have to always remember to, when you're done, just exit out, because it'll stay stuck over here. Anyway, you type in gradient, your effects and presets. If you do not see this, right, Windows, effects and presets, and then eventually you're gonna need the effect controls, right, which is this one right here. And like I said before, this layout is basically your window workspace standard, right, which will lay it out: project panel, effects controls panel, effects and presets panel, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so you type about gradient, you select the first layer, text layer, and then we're going to choose gradient ramp, right? It says here 32, and that has to do with I think amount of colors, right? The output, like there's, like this one here is 8-bit, this one says here 32-bit. It just gives you the option that a wider range of colors from what I remember, blah blah blah. I'm not saying exactly the most eloquent way, but yeah. Anyway, gradient ramp, make sure you select the layer, gradient ramp, double click it, and boom, there you go. Let me just move this out of the way. So we dump this in. If you're seeing this for the first time, it looks kind of similar to Photoshop's gradient ramp, right? I'll just quickly go over it. Add the layer selected. You'll notice this weird looking circular dot and this weird looking circular dot, right? That's like your beginning and end of your gradation. Beginning and end. Right now it's obviously vertical, right? This here, start of the ramp. This is a little crosshair targeting, you could say, just a visual representation. The numbers over here, this first column 960, right? That's your X. your left to right. This column, the 0.0, that's your Y, like your up and down. Right now, Y is right, 0. The 960, like I said, is your left to right. I'm pulling on it. See? Anyway, you want to grab it. You want to go over here and friggin' hover over it. Make sure you're on the selection tool, V as in Victor. You go over here, this guy right there, right? You grab it. Make sure you go right in the middle of it, grab it, dump it over here. See how it's darkening it up? The reason why is that the start color is dark. That's the reason why. Right? Again, you grab it from here, you chuck it over here. I'm gonna change the color. I don't know, maybe something like yellow. See? And then let's say right now I'm on frame 15, right, which is right here. For now it's okay, but we're gonna set keyframes. So this is your this down here is the end of the ramp, right? And I like to just grab it and chuck it here. That's white. The N is kind of grayish because that's just the opacity being animated. So the end color, click it. I'm gonna choose, I don't know, something like this, like that. I'm gonna hit OK. Don't be confused with this. This is your anchor tool or visual identification of the anchor. I'm gonna talk about that later next time. For now, we don't need it right now. So that's how you set up the color thing, gradient. And what I'm gonna do is, let's say it's like this for now, but the thing is that it stays here. So if I scrub back, see, it stays. So we're gonna coordinate our little gradient ramp, the beginning and end. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, scrub right on there. Right, remember this thing is the text box, and right now the text box is longer than it is usually because of the position, animation and stuff. Anyhow, this guy right here, which is your beginning of the ramp, grab it, chuck it closer so it's more yellow. End of the ramp right here, grab it. Maybe I'm gonna dump it somewhere around here or something, give or take. Right now it's all just visually, like what do I want? I mean, do I like the color right now? Blah blah blah. This is okay. So that's what, frame 5-ish, and I'm gonna set a keyframe. Start of the ramp, this little stopwatch, click it. End of the ramp, click it. Don't click on the color, right? You start and end, that's what you click on. And then just to review, if I press U as an umbrella, you see all the keyframes, and right here is your gradient ramp. Right here, these two. See, start, end, boom, boom. Then I'm gonna scrub forward about 1, 2, every 3 frames, right? And you see how our little dots are still stationary. I'm gonna grab the beginning right here, and I'm gonna chuck it somewhere like that. Grab the end, damn it. Grab the ramp, right there. Right here, this guy right in the middle. Chuck it over. See how it's changing? See? So maybe something like that. This visually I kind of like it like this. Maybe the yellow, Okay, I'm guessing maybe I may pull it back a bit. Just always be aware of where you are on the timeline, right? And then bop, bop. Another 3 frames or so, right? And maybe I'll grab the beginning. Maybe I'll dump it here-ish. Anytime I move it, it will automatically set the keyframe. Let's see, this one, maybe I think it's too pinkish, so maybe I'll dial it back a bit. Or not, whichever. It's all visual preference. Bump, bump, and then bump, bump. Gets tight. Right, so maybe every 3 frames over here, I'm gonna grab here, maybe slide it more in. Maybe grab this part, slide it more in maybe, or less, whatever. Boom, boom. And then bop, bop. 3 more frames. Maybe I'll squeeze in some more, like that. And maybe I'll grab that and squeeze that. That way it's animating the gradation. So boom, boom. Scrub, scrub, scrub. And then 1, 2. Bump, bump. I'm gonna play it. Alright, so do. Maybe here, right? Gradient ramp. Maybe I'll push it a bit back this way so that the coloration of the yellow will cover SLIDE, and then leave a bit of a trailing gradation of the pink, and then something like that. Again, I'm over here. And then if I think it's too fast, boom, 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 I can just grab the 2 of them, make sure to hover over it, and then pull it, pull it, pull it, maybe this much so there's a delay, and like that. Spacebar. See? So you can do that. Then boom, so I can go back here, maybe at this part, you know, maybe I want it to be a little bit less saturated of yellow, so maybe I can pull it back, see, pull it forward or back, something like that. I'm over here, see, I'm always knowing where I am. Don't just arbitrarily start putting keyframes, because that is a surefire way of blowing up your project. Maybe over here, maybe I'll dial it back a bit, maybe put it around here. Then boom, boom. So the saturation kicks in a little bit more slowly of the yellow. Go back here a bit. Maybe the pink, hot pink, maybe I'll dial it back a bit by pulling it back, and then like that. Maybe I'll pull this back a bit like this over here. Something like that. Spacebar. See? Maybe these 2 over here, grab it, hover over it, yank it back 2 frames. Maybe another frame. Yeah, I like that. So it's not too hard, you know. You'll notice that the amount of frames being animated, right? So boom, 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 boom. Altogether, this was 25 frames. right? When you're first learning, you want to avoid just piling in frames and frames and frames, you know, where you end up getting really floaty animation and just turns into complete slop, you know, like molasses. So that's another thing I want to point out about the frame counts. Anyway, so that was that. Slide out, right? Again, gradient, slide out, select it. I'm gonna go to the beginning, maybe right around right here. This is where it starts. So I'm gonna press and hold a space bar. If I press and hold a space bar, see how my cursor turns into a hand. Now I can pan it, so you can kind of see a little bit more over here. Let go of the space bar, like that. Anyway, I'm gonna start the gradation here for the slide out, right? So you can barely start to see it. I'm gonna double click gradient ramp, click, there we go. Same process. This is the beginning, this is the end. I'm gonna grab the beginning right here, put it right around here ish. Hold down the space bar, chuck the composition over a bit, let go of the space bar, grab this guy right here, chuck it over here. Right, that's the end of the ramp. That. Let me see. Start of the ramp. Right, start color. I don't know. Make it ice blue. And you see some of the blue. Before you couldn't see anything because it was black, right? Anyway, end color. I don't know. Make it yellow maybe, or hot pink maybe. Something like that. I don't know, man. Something like that maybe. Okay. So we set the colors. I'm gonna close this. This might end up confusing people. Press M as in marry. Closes it. It's like this, right? Press U as an umbrella. Right now I only have my the previous animations showing, right? As you can see. So start of the ramp, right? For the slide out, select it. Start of the ramp right here. Click the stopwatch. End of the ramp. Click the stopwatch. I repeat, do not click on the stopwatch for the colors. Do not do that. Just the start and end of the ramp. So boom, boom. Start, end. Right. Then select the layer. Press U again. Right. So that's expanded too much of everything. Anyway, here's your effects, right? Text layer, I can close that. I don't want to confuse. Here we are. Boom, boom. Right, these two. Right here. I'm gonna go forward. 1, 2, 3. Right. Select the gradient ramp again. Now you can see the circle. Grab it. Grab the end. Tuck it, push it forward so you can see a little bit more the hot pink colorish. Something like that. Hold on the space bar, pan this thing over like this, then go forward 1, 2, 3. And then here's this guy right here. Don't grab this. This is your anchor. Grab this. I'm gonna just pull it back a bit like that. Only because it's just preference of the colors. You know, do I want it to be super saturated or a little bit less? If I want it to be a little bit less, I'll pull it back. So the gradation gets weaker and weaker. If I pull it more centered, see, I get bright, saturated blue, right? I'm gonna just like that. I want it to be a little bit more gradual. That's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Something like that. And then go forward 1, 2, 3, and now it's compacting in, so I'm gonna squeeze this in. I'm gonna squeeze this in, see? Boom. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm thinking instead of 3, I want it to be 4 frames. 3 is kind of fast. 4 frames is just fast but acceptable, meaning how it pulls in. So boom, boom, boom. Right, I'm gonna select these two. Speaking about this guy and this guy, which is over here. Grab both of them, yank it one more. So you're stuffing in another frame. So boom, boom. Then 1, 2, 3. Right around here-ish, right? Maybe I'm gonna go in here, grab that, pull it in. Grab this guy right here, pull it in. Right. Something like that. So you see, you'll naturally set keyframes. Let's play it. Okay, go back to over here where it was. This one right here, the blue one. Maybe I want it to be more saturated and rich in color, so I'm gonna pull it more in. So colorizes that a little bit more. Let go. Scrub, scrub. Right, so something like that. And boom, 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 boom. This part's a little bit weak, right here. So I'm gonna just select the gradient ramp so I can see the little circles, right? And then maybe I'll grab this, punch it in a little bit more. Maybe I'll grab this, pull it in a little bit more. Right, bum, 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 bum. Play again. Alright, so that's pretty much that. That was 22 minutes. Yeah, and if I want, just for the sake of helping students to remember, you can turn all of this into easy ease in and ease out. Right now, if I select all of it, right, and then I click on this guy again, the graph editor, you will notice that it's all linear, straight lines. Right, the motion. I'll click on the graph editor icon again to get out of it. I'm gonna grab all of this. Press F9 for the easy ease. F9, pop. Now if I were to show the graph editor again, it looks like trash. And what I could do is I'll just show it. Where all I did was start the ramp. Maybe I'll grab, select it like that. And then I'll click on convert selected keyframes to auto Bezier. Ooh. Oh. Don't forget that. Too much trouble. Undo. God damn. Undo. Undo. Click over here. Let's say it's too much of a hassle and this is a beginning class. So I'm gonna hold control, right? Hold control and left click. Holding control, left click. This will convert it back to linear. Right? I'll leave these alone. Holding control and left click, pop up. So that's done. That's already what, 24 minutes, and you know what, let's just add the sound. So basically to import sound, right, in here I could either just double click, right, again, in here, I can double click, and then oh, by the way, you want to set up a folder, right? Right now under documents, I made a folder called kinetic typography exercises, and these are separate exercises that I created for the class. Let's say this one right here, double click it. Basically, I have my footage folder, I have my sound folder. This gets automatically created, the After Effects autosave. These are my files, right? So you want to set this up, basically. That's what I'm saying. This one and this one, footage and sound. Inside of my sound folder, I have all of these sound effects. I chose this one right here, and I chose this one right here, Frosty Ice Swoosh, right? Yeah, and then I already have it in here, and you just hit import. Or what you can do is, right, the folder, say sound, you can just literally grab something, right? This is just your regular file explorer. You can grab it and you can just chuck it. I do that all the time. Just make sure all your assets are organized into their folders. Make sure of that, because if not, and then you move files around, it'll give you a warning message saying that it's disconnected. I repeat, make the folder first. Don't be lazy, right? Make the folder, dump everything in there, and then you can grab it and chuck it. Grab it, chuck it. That's the other way to do it as well. Or you could file, import, file. So you could do that way. You could double click in here, blah 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 blah. Or you could find your location and just open it and chuck it. Three different ways. Alright, so that's 27 minutes. I want to cut this short. What I'm going to do, here's my superhero teleport. Grab it, right? This is your project panel. Grab it, chuck it. And then if I press LL will open the waveform, and scrub. Maybe I'll pull it right around here. And if I press play, spacebar, see? Neato. I'll grab this one, grab it, chuck it, press LL so you can see it. And yeah, this, this times pretty well. The apex of the sound versus entry of the text. Spacebar. Maybe it was too soon, so I'm gonna pull it 3 frames. Maybe push it, boom, 2 frames more. Right? In the world of motion graphics and stuff, things are counted literally by frames, like 4 frames, 6 frames, 8 frames. Hardly ever do you start chucking like 30, 40 frames at a time. Hardly ever you ever do that. Most likely not, There you go. So that's that part. Super easy. So that's 29 minutes. And I want to introduce one last thing. See this dark background? This is actually not really there. It's just a temporarily there, right? You need to make a literal background just to be safe. And then you can see this is only temporary because, like I shared before down here, you see this guy right here, toggle transparency grid. If I click on it, you will notice it is completely nothing in here. It's fake, that black background. If I click it again, right there, I want to put a background, right? So you want to go in here, you could right click, right? In here, right click, new, solid, like a solid color, or layer, new, solid, control Y. So right click, new, solid. You have all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. Just pick solid settings, and then color, right? This is dark gray solid 1, and let's just name it, I don't know, background color, whatever. And then color, I'm going to choose, yeah, what should I choose? I don't know. Some obnoxious bright color, maybe hot pink, I don't know. Okay, and you'll notice it's on the top. You want to grab it, chuck it at the bottom. Ooh, that's horrific. I don't like it, so I'm gonna select it, right click on it. No, you select it, layer, solid settings. Right, you select it, layer, solid settings. I want to change it to, okay, so maybe something like that, maybe, I don't know. And hit OK. Alright, there you go. So you could do that. So that's the background color. Man, I'm really tempted to add a bevel to this thing, but maybe I shouldn't. I'm really tempted to add a shadow to this. I'll just leave it alone. So I'm gonna leave it like that. That's already 32 minutes. I'm gonna make one last video afterwards, just how to render this out. So this is the basically assignment, right? To get your feet wet in terms of you know, After Effects and typography, animation, kinetic, blah 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 blah. Yeah, so one last video is gonna be the outputting it as a movie file. This is your assignment. I want you to choose your own colors, right? Choose your own background, right? And then render out the movie, which will be the next last video, and also add sound effects. I have a sound effects library. There's also, the school has a whole sound effects library as well. And yeah, I recommend also, whoever is watching this as well, you could use a software called 4K video download. Right, let me this is 4kdownload.com, right? You download it. You can download YouTube videos, and which leads me to say that there's, you know, a lot of sound effects footage on YouTube. You can download it and use it as well. Yeah, I highly recommend that. It comes in super handy. So that's the end of this video. So make this, use your own colors, choose your own background, and then you're gonna render it out, add sound effects to time it, and then the next video is gonna be how to render it out, and that's it. Yeah.